Welcome back to The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. I'm always delighted to have Paul Carroll, great Price of Business contributor here on the program. Often we have great guests that he brings on, interesting stories to say the least. But occasionally we're able to spend some time directly with him, talking about things going on in his professional life. And as always, he always got something cool to talk about. Paul Carroll, how are you, sir?
Very good. Thank you. How are you today?
I am doing great. And by the way, Paul Carroll firm is called Efficient Wealth Management. That's efficientwealthmanagement.com. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your firm, and then we'll get into what I think is a very interesting topic for today.
Well, great. Of course. Efficient Wealth Management is a boutique wealth management practice based here in the Woodlands, Texas. And what we do is we adopt a consultative approach, work with a team of experts to help our clients not only protect their wealth, but mitigate their taxes, take care of their heirs, protect their assets from being unjustly taken, and maximize the impact of charitable planning if that's important to them.
And it should be, absolutely, and very, very good. Tell us about first of all, everyone's very familiar with TED Talks, but there's also a great series of talks called 10X that are very interesting and innovative as well. Can you provide us a little bit of background on 10X Talk, and then we'll get into your topic that you recently spoke on in California?
Absolutely. In fact, talking about charitable planning, the objective of this talk, of course, there was a reward for a charity, and that's why we put this time into it. But 10X Talks are becoming fairly popular among high-level mastermind groups. And so what's a mastermind group? A mastermind group may be top-tier wealth managers getting together, say, in California, a couple of days, once or twice a year, sharing notes, getting even better at their profession. But it's not really just wealth managers. I know that there are CPAs have these type of organizations, entrepreneurs. One of the most famous is probably Strategic Coach. So there's a lot of organizations, entrepreneur organization, that have taken on this concept of the 10X Talk. And what a 10X Talk is where you get up and you present an idea that hopefully will help someone scale their business as much as 10X over time, 10 times. And the concept comes from the idea that if you think about doubling the size of your business, what you think about doing is everybody pedaling twice as hard. But when you think about 10Xing a business, you can't pedal 10 times as hard. You have to think at a whole different level. And that's the inspiration for the name, the 10X Talk.
Yeah, and it's interesting looking at other videos from the 10X Talk. It's a very much, in fact, it looks like virtually every single presentation begins with the words "how to." It's very practical, very applicable. Whereas I guess TEDx is really almost more observational, wouldn't you say? This is my observance of what happens versus what's happening at 10X. This is how to, and it's very interesting.
That's exactly right. So a TED Talk, though they're always interesting, may be just informative.
Right.
A 10X Talk this is how we have accomplished the goal.
Yeah, very good.
And it can be very explicit. And I've been very fortunate to be able to hear a number in person and executed on some of these ideas, and they're wonderful. I recommend anyone in any profession, if they can get into a mastermind group where they can share wisdom, to leverage that information.
Tell us a little bit about the background behind your presentation. When did you do it? Where did you do it? What inspired you to want to do it? And what was your topic?
Absolutely. And, of course, as you know, the 10X Talk is on your website.
Priceofbusiness.com.
We were invited about 2 months ago to go to California and talk about our practice. And what we were most specifically invited to discuss was how we've brought in young people and mentored them and trained them rapidly, and the success we've had. And I think it's significant because in our industry and many other industries, the average age of professionals is the 50s. The problem with that is they're all going to quit about the same time. And this is an existential threat. There are actually wealth management firms that have decided to wind down their operation simply because they cannot replace the staffers that are leaving, the professionals that are leaving.
Wow. So how do you explain this phenomenon?
So the phenomenon is purely demographic, the baby boomer. But the other thing that's happened is young people are different, in case we hadn't noticed. And I think what the overwhelming critique is, well, they don't care. They have different values. They don't work hard. And one of the essence of the 10X talk is we need to quit being at war with the youngsters and maybe look in the mirror and ask ourselves, are we managing them? Are we trying to put a square peg in a round hole? Mm-hmm. We have at our firm significant quantity of young professionals, and I can't say enough good about them. They work hard, they're professional, they're diligent, they're intelligent, and I'm looking at these people going, someone's wrong. And I would say the evidence that we're experiencing is maybe the overwhelming paradigm for people my age, because unfortunately I'm closer to nursing home than high school, is maybe we need to look at them from a different viewpoint and manage them in a better way, because it's working in our firm.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. And so what was the title of your talk?
How to 10X your practice using diamond teams. And so we have built our operation around a very flat organization. There's a great book out there for any entrepreneur called The Starfish. It's about starfish teams. And the idea is to create a relatively flat organization, allowing for a lot of autonomy. Now, that doesn't mean a Google-like, well, just come and go as you please, but more of everyone's accountable for their little piece of the pie, but let these youngsters run. And my personal analogy, have you ever seen that movie Memphis Belle?
Yes, very good movie.
Great movie. I don't watch movies twice. I've watched that one 3 or 4 times. And I think if you haven't seen it, if you're listening, you should. Because when you watch this movie and you look at those young actors, you need to remind yourself that the real people who were doing that were maybe 5 years younger than the actors. And they did great. They flew those planes through horrible conditions. They led their teams. They did what was asked of them because it was asked. Sadly, in today's society, through no one's fault, there are so many baby boomers that are blocking the progression of young people that I believe, frankly, that their behavior is quite rational. Why would I give a damn if I've got to wait 25 years to move up 10% in the organization? Why would I care? And so we're working very hard to provide autonomy, responsibility, and respect to people at the same point in their career that we would have got it if we were born in the 60s. And it's amazing. They do great.
All right, Paul Carroll, efficientwealthmanagement.com. Obviously, you need to hear this 10X talk. You can see it easily over at priceofbusiness.com, and I encourage you to do just that. As always, Paul, thanks so much for all you do.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
By the way, congratulations also on your recent publications. You have a book that came out very recently, and you have another one right around the corner. Keep it up.
That's right. We have a Platform for Wealth directed at the energy industry. Will be coming out in the next 30 days, and we're also moving to a new office in the next 30 days.
You're just a man on the go. I'm telling you. Paul Carroll, check him out over at efficientwealthmanagement.com. Check him out also at priceofbusiness.com, where you'll find great content, including an excellent video of him there. I'm Kevin Price. This is The Price of Business.